Imagine a world where a single decision on powerful missiles could tip the scales in a brutal war. But what if the leader of the world's superpower says no and pushes for an instant truce instead? That's the shocking reality unfolding in the Ukraine-Russia conflict, and it's got everyone on edge. Buckle up, because this diplomatic drama is far from over, and it raises questions that could redefine global alliances. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky traveled all the way to Washington, D.C. on Friday with high hopes of securing Tomahawk missiles, those advanced, long-range cruise missiles. Picture it like a chess move, where one well-placed strike targets the opponent's king, weakening their entire strategy. But here's where it gets controversial. During the opening of a working lunch at the White House, U.S. President Donald Trump made it clear he wants to end the conflict without even considering handing over Tomahawks. In fact, he emphasized that these weapons are something America needs for its own defense, signaling a firm boundary on escalation. Zelensky left the meeting describing it as productive, yet he steered clear of discussing the missiles further, noting that the U.S. isn't keen on ramping things up. It's a polite way of saying thanks for nothing on that front, but it leaves you wondering, is this a smart move to avoid a wider catastrophe, or is it shortchanging Ukraine's desperate fight? And this is the part most people miss, the ripple effects that could shape international relations for years. Just hours after the meeting, Trump went public with a bold plea for both Ukraine and Russia to halt hostilities right away. "You go by the battle line, wherever it is," he told reporters upon arriving in West Palm Beach, Florida. "Otherwise, it's too complicated. You'll never be able to figure it out. You stop at the battle line." He urged both sides to head home to their families and end the bloodshed, revealing he'd shared this idea directly with Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Imagine the emotional weight of that message, a call for peace rooted in human compassion, but one that freezes the current front lines, which many see as unfair to Ukraine after so much loss. This summit happened just one day after Trump chatted with Putin on the phone, where they agreed to a future meeting in Hungary to discuss the war. During that conversation, Putin reportedly downplayed the value of Tomahawks on the battlefield, arguing they wouldn't shift the war's outcome, but could severely damage the US-Russia relationship. Think of it as Putin saying, sure, they might hit some targets, but at what cost to our fragile diplomacy? Tomahawks boast a much greater range than anything Ukraine currently has in its arsenal, allowing strikes far beyond current capabilities, potentially even reaching major cities like Moscow or St. Petersburg. While Trump has dialed back talks on providing them, he hasn't outright eliminated the possibility, leaving the door slightly ajar for future negotiations. Adding another layer to this intricate puzzle, Zelensky hinted at a potential swap before the meeting: Ukraine's thousands of homemade drones in exchange for US Tomahawks. "Ukraine has thousands of our production drones, but we don't have Tomahawks," he said, suggesting a collaborative deal. The US, can have our thousands of drones. That's where we can work together. It's a clever proposal that could benefit both sides. Ukraine gets the firepower, and the US gains cutting-edge tech for its own needs. But it also sparks debate. Is this a win-win, or just a way to skirt tougher decisions? Following the White House talks, Zelensky held a virtual briefing with European leaders, who stood firm in their unwavering commitment to Ukraine amid relentless Russian aggression. Speaking to the press, Zelensky expressed confidence in Trump's desire to wrap up the war, even noting how Trump had navigated the complex Middle East situation successfully, a nod to his past diplomatic wins. On the same day, Trump avoided taking a stance on whether Ukraine might have to give up territory in a peace deal with Russia. His views on this have flipped over time, which is a red flag for anyone following closely. Before his August sit-down with Putin, he suggested land swaps as a necessary evil to end the fighting. But then he shifted gears, claiming Ukraine could reclaim all Russian-occupied land. In his recent remarks, Trump acknowledged the risk that Putin might be buying time to achieve his goals in Ukraine. Yet he concluded, I think that he wants to make a deal. With a touch of bravado, he added, "You know, I've been played all my life by the best of them, and I came out really well." This flip-flopping is sure to fuel heated discussions. Is Trump's optimism naive, or is it the shrewd insight of a seasoned negotiator? In wrapping this up, it's clear that Trump's approach, denying advanced weapons while pushing for an immediate ceasefire, could either pave the way for peace or prolong the suffering. But what do you think? Do you agree that stopping the war at the current lines is a pragmatic solution, or does it feel like abandoning Ukraine to Russia's aggression? Should the U.S. prioritize its own arsenal over arming allies, even in dire times? And could Putin's warnings about damaged relations be a smokescreen for deeper motives? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to hear where you stand on this polarizing issue. Remember, these decisions aren't just headlines. They shape the lives of millions. Caitlin Collins, Kristen Holmes, and Betsy Klein contributed to this report.